behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Paul Mash TV. Paul Mash TV.
Well, hello everybody. It's Paul Mash TV time once again. We're glad that you could join us for another episode, and we've got a great interview coming up for you in just a moment. But feel free to subscribe and hit the bell right here, and you're always going to get the latest interviews whenever they come about. And leave a comment on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you there as well. And if you'd like to join our Facebook page, you'll go to facebook.com/Paul Mash TV. Has all our interviews there, and you can like the page, inbox us there, and comment everything you see. And email us as well, and that email address is paulmashtv, all one word, @gmail.com. And you can use that not just if you're a band or solo artist wanting to be on the show, but if you're simply a fan. We'd love to hear from you there as well. And don't forget, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central on Roku channel Small World TV, one of my episodes will be on there. And we'll recap all that for you at the closing credits at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. From Kiowa, Texas, we have Clinton Wayne, another awesome artist. He's a country singer, and I think you're going to like him, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's have a quick word from Click Jam. Don't go away.
We got history, got me feeling the nostalgia when you look at me, thinking about what could.
Okay, everybody, it's interview time, and with us from Kiowa, Texas, we have Clinton Wayne. Thanks for joining us, Clinton.
Yeah, Paul, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. We're glad to have you here today. So tell us a little bit about how it all began for you. Maybe you've always wanted to be an artist, maybe you fell into it. But anyway, tell us in your own words. We'd love to hear your story.
All right, I'll tell you my story. First, I want to say congratulations on your 500 interviews. That's awesome.
Yes, and thank you for that. Yeah, that was just the other day I had it, and I feel real good about that accomplishment.
yeah, that I know that hitting something like that's not easy. So my hat's off to you on that. Well, I started in church when I was a kid, playing with my dad. My dad was a piano player at our church. My uncle. My uncle was the pastor at this time, I believe, and he still is. But I was 9 years old, and my dad played piano, and we had a guitar player. His name was Kurt, and he told my dad that he said, "We need a bass player, and so why don't you teach your son how to play bass?" So I started there. Unfortunately for the congregation, I'm sure it was awful. I can't believe that they would put up with that. But anyway, started there, and then when I was probably about 10 or maybe 11 or so, I'm not sure, my dad started playing with a Southern gospel group called the Jenkins Sisters. And I came along soon after that and was playing bass with them. So I cut my teeth on country gospel music. And then when I was about 13, me and two of my cousins put a little vocal band together, and we entered a church contest, and we got all the way up to nationals, and because of that, we were getting calls from other churches to play at their church. So through my whole teenage years, every weekend we were playing churches, and so that's how I got started. It went from that, and then in my 20s, me and some friends formed a bluegrass band called Cadillac Sky. We did that for a number of years, and after I got off the road, I decided not to play for a while. And then finally in my 30s, I started playing again. I'd always played in church in that meantime, but joined a cover band called Raised Right Men. And we still play today. I'm still with them when I'm not doing my own thing. And we play a lot of stuff down the stockyards and a lot of corporate events and weddings and that sort of thing. But that's how I got. That's kind of where
Okay, well that's a good story, and I'm glad that you found music in your life, and hopefully you'll be around for quite a while doing that.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
What were some of the bands growing up? I mean, I'm sure it's probably an easy question to answer, but what were some of the, your influences that you grew up with?
Yeah, well, like I said, being in Southern gospel, a lot of my influence were country gospel people like the Days, um, Chuck Day and Greg Day and Heather Day, and the Hensons were a big influence on me. A singer named Kenny Henson was probably the biggest influence in probably my whole life. And then, of course, I went on to the bluegrass thing, like I said, and I did the bluegrass thing for quite a while, and so had a lot of influences from there. But then, as far as country goes, I would say my influences were well, Merle Haggard for sure. He was probably my top influence, and then Randy Travis, Vern Gosdin, Gene Watson. I'm sure there are many more, but that's what pops into my head.
Yeah, and those are legends for sure, especially Merle Haggard. You can't go wrong with Little Merle.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Merle at all. Yeah, he's
And
the best.
well, where can we contact you at or get your music? I mean, I'm sure it's on all streaming platforms, but if you got physical copies, you can volunteer that as well.
Yeah. If you want a physical copy, you can get in touch with me by going to my website, clintonwayne.com, and you can message me. I don't think you can buy it on the website, but you can message me and get a hold of it like that. And it's also being sold, anywhere online. You just search Clinton Wayne and then put the title of the album in, Blues on Parade. If you just punch in Clinton Wayne, there's actually a rapper I found out later named Clinton Wayne, and he's pretty much got it all locked up. So you got to put in Blues on Parade. Which I thought that was kind of funny because I thought Clinton Wayne was about as hick a name as you could get. So.
Well, I know Clinton here would love it if you got some of his music. So go there today and get some. I know he'd appreciate it. And and speaking of your music, "Time for a Fool," I do believe is the song we're getting ready to watch in just a moment. Maybe you could tell us a little story about that. I'm sure it's self-explanatory though, but tell us in your own words on that.
Yeah. "Time for a Fool." It's basically about a guy who keeps going back to his old love, And it was written by a friend of mine in West Texas. His name is Randy Norton, and he wrote that track on the album, and he also wrote "Blues on Parade," the title track. And he's just a fabulous writer. I was really fortunate to get to get in touch with him, and then also I want to give credit to DJ. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's D''Souza. And he put the track together. I mean, the lyric video together. So, and I appreciate him letting us use it on this too. But want to give him a shout out for that.
Okay, well, it's a great song. It's one of what they call a lyric video, with the lyrics appear on the video, and I'm sure that you guys would appreciate that too. So,
yeah.
And we'll get to that in just a moment or so, but I think that's all we need right now, Clinton. And we thank you so much for being on the show. We'd love to have you back again if you have anything new to plug for us.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I'd love that. I'd love to come back. And I want to thank you, Paul, for having me. And I want to thank Niecy Howard at Country Radio Records, or Country Roads Records, excuse me, for connecting me with you.
Okay, well, I'm sure she would love that little plug there for her. So anyway, without further ado, here's "Time for a Fool" by Clinton here, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Don't go away.
It's time for a fool. You've lost that love again. So you come back to me, for I'll take you in. I play a fool, someone you come to, and here you come back again. It's time for a fool. Well, fools never learn, and they seldom win. Just start all over to be fooled again. But who's fooling who? I know all about you. And here you come back again. It's time for a fool. Well, fools never learn, and they seldom win. Just start all over to be fooled again. But who's fooling who? I know all about you. And here you come back again. It's time for a fool. And I'll take you back again when it's time for